Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's discussion.
We will discuss impact of raising price of the Indonesian people.
This topic is important because almost every sector of life depends on food.
We will discuss person with our we the explain based on the scientific journal.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to share this information on this occasion.
In your opinion, why can raising food press the economy?
Because food is a primary need for the production and distribution of goods.
So it's not just vehicles that are affected.
Correct. Many industries use food their operation.
History and research for support the opinion.
Yes, research by Fitra Lestari and Hisham Asikin 2022 in the Journal of Islamic Business Management Studies state that raising food price contributes the introduction inflation in Indonesia.
Why does inflation increase?
Because production costs increase, as a result, the price of goods and service also increase.
So people have to send the more money to buy daily necessities.
Correct. This reduction people purchasing power.
In your opinion, who feels the impact the most?
Low income people are usually the most affected group.
Now let's move on the transportation sector.
Why is transportation always the first sector to feel the impact of rising food prices?
Because food is the main operation cost in transportation.
History any research on this?
Yes, research by Ahmad Agus Hidayat Lirik Rahmawati and Agustin Mila Arulina 2023 explained that raising fuel price plus transportation operation cost the inflation.
What is the impact on society?
Public transportation fares are then increased to the cover operational cost.
How are you good distributed?
Shipping costs also increase, leading to higher price for the goods of the market.
So the effect isn't just felt by vehicle users.
Correct. Everyone can feel the impact through raising price for operation in negotiations.
We often hear trend inflation. What is the relationship between inflation and rising food price?
The relationship is very close.
Can you explain it more simply?
When production and distribution costs increase, companies raise their product in price.
The consensus is the increasing price for goods in general.
Exactly. That condition is called inflation.
What is the impact on society?
The value of money the noticeably reduction because the same goods have to be purchased at higher price.
So, people need wisdom in managing their spending.
That's right.
Now let's discuss the impact on students.
Do you think students are also affected?
They are significantly affected, especially students who use pedestrians every day to get to campus.
Besides transportation, what else?
The price of goods, photocopying, and other college makers could also increase.
Is there any research that examines the impact on society?
Yes, research by Gustia Putri Nabila 2023 show that raising fuel price put pressure on household budget.
What do you mean?
Many families have to reduce other expenses to meet basic needs.
So, it's not just the economy that affected, but also the well-being of society.
Correct. Therefore, the government needs the create police that can help the most affected group.
Thank you for your explanation. Today we learned that increasing food price has a very broad impact.
The impacts include the economic sector, transportation costs, inflation, and even the life of students and the community.
Hopefully, the government can continue the balanced fuel price policy with protection the public target assistance.
Thank you to the speakers for your information.
And thank you to everyone who listened to today's discussion.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
and have a nice day. Bye. Good morning, listeners. Your turn in another episode.
And today we're diving to something almost everyone on campus opinion about smoking.
Should it be allowed in campus areas or not? That's what we're unpacking today.
To withdraw it, we've invited someone who actually gone through the record in this place. Welcome all Chris.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for making the time.
Of course, happy to be here and talk about something so many students deal with every day.
Let's kick things off with the student who thinks smoking should stay allowed. What's usually behind that opinion?
Honestly, for a lot of them, it's less about wanting the right to smoke and more about the fact that quitting is genuinely hard once it becomes part of their routine.
That's interesting. So, it's more of a habit issue than an argument about freedom.
Exactly. There was a study by Working Santi and Arifin published in 2024 in Jurnal Penelitian Inovatif. They looked at students at Universitas Muhammadiyah Aceh and found that almost half of the smokers struggled to quit. And the biggest reasons were their own attitude towards smoking plus pressure from friends around them.
So it's basically the social circle keeping the habit alive.
Pretty much. When your close friends smoke, quitting feels a lot harder because the habit is tied to hanging out and bonding with them.
And that makes the just ban it approach feel a bit simple then.
Right. Because you are not just fighting a rule, you are fighting a war social pattern.
Okay, let's flip it around. Now, what's the strongest case against allowing smoking on campus?
It comes down to health and comfort, mainly for the people who don't smoke but still have to breathe the same air.
Is there data backing that up?
That is, Rafli, Nurfara, and Khairuddin did a study in 225 published in the Journal of Public Healthy Innovation. They found a clear link between how much students know about smoke-free zones of kawasan tanpa rokok and how they actually behave.
So, the more students understand the policy, the less they smoke.
That's the pattern they found. Yes, students with better knowledge and a more positive attitude toward the smoke-free rule tend to smoke less in those designated areas.
So it's not really about forcing people. It's about making sure that actually understand why the rules exist.
Exactly. Education plays a bigger role here than people usually assume.
Right. Last topic, how does all this affect student and the wider campus and environment?
This is where it gets a bit tricky. Winner, Ridwan, and Lanita published a study in 225 in the journal Clinic looking at students at Universitas Jambi.
What did they find?
Most students actually agreed that fresh, smoke-free air should be a basic right, and they supported the idea of a smoke-free campus in general.
That sounds promising so far.
It does, but here's the catch. Many of those same students pushed back against strict enforcement like fines or fine penalties for breaking the rule.
So, leave the idea, just not the consequences.
Exactly. And because enforcement was weak, the study found that agreeing with the police didn't actually translate into less smoking on campus.
So the rule exists, but it's not really protecting the people around it.
Right. Non-smokers are still exposed to smoke in shared space. even with a policy technically in place.
So, what will actually fix that gap?
Based on all three studies, it's a mix. Stronger education so students understand the why, consistent enforcement so the rule actually means something, and some kind of support system so students don't feel cornered by their friend group when trying to cut weight.
This has honestly given us a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's clear the issue isn't simple as just ban it or just allow it.
Exactly. It's really about balancing habit, awareness, and how seriously a policy is actually enforced.
Thanks so much for breaking this down for us today.
And thank you all for tuning in the catch you in the next episode.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Have a
nice
nice
day. Bye bye bye.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Trio Cumprek podcast today. We are going to talk about a topic that makes sense to each, but it's absolutely crucial for college students. Why we like it or not have to learn English.
Exactly. These days it feels like English is everywhere from course materials to drama and trolling through social media all the way the professional word wearing use later.
Now, to make sure we are around just spotting nonsense, we have got a special guest with us today who really digs into importance of English or student like us.
By the way, do you agree with the common saying the learning English is the best investment for the future? Does it actually make a difference while we're still in college?
Honestly, I totally agree from an academic perspective. English basically the keystone to the culture. Three, research by nearly 50 biasa English and after essential set English help students access international literature. So, all required isn't limited to just local course.
So, it's not just about showing off or meeting a job requirement. Then, it's also useful for the long run.
Exactly. It has a huge impact on future career. Employers both are fluid in the English usually have better chance of getting promoted or taking a leadership role. Basically, it's a high salary soft skill.
So, simply put, if you speak English, far more professional opportunities open up for you.
Definitely, we gain more value and become competent in the global job market.
That makes sense. But wait, what about students who aspire to be entrepreneurs? Do they need to?
They need it even more. It's a really valuable asset of business people. Everything is digital, digital, e-commerce, social media. If you want to scale up your business to international market, communicate with occasion or integrate your product globally. English is the key is asset. If initial of business doesn't just pay a big fees or small part.
I see. So, this is just about chatting or understanding technology. It's really about our own cognitive and academic development, right?
Exactly, it supports the concept of the lifelong learning. The Journal of English for Academic purpose even notes that English proficiency extends student ability to comprehend academic text, participate actually in scholarly discussion, and product their own academic weighting.
Wow, is gained so much insight today. The discussion really covers it all from education and career prospect to global connection.
That's right. Ultimately, English isn't just a lead subject. It's a tool enables us to access knowledge, advance our career, and connect with their real world.
Speaking of the global aspect, What role does English play in today's world of technology and communication?
Well, as we know, English is a lingua franca, a communication language. Many cultures as in cross-cultural communication. And if we look at the case for the programming language, equally online courses, or the latest scientific innovation. For example, what is the primary medium used? English, right? So, in the digital age, if you don't master English, we are very likely to get left behind.
Great. So, could we say that English is also the language of innovation?
Upgrade, it connects us to global technology advances.
Okay, before we wrap up this exciting discussion, could you give a brief summary for the students listening in?
Sure, here the bottom line based on fact and research, English is crucial in university life for gaining global perspective. Second, it's a major asset for landing a great career. And third, it a service a break from the modern communication and technology. So knowing English isn't just an opinion anymore, it's an absolute necessity.
That's always so. Thanks a lot for sharing your knowledge and time on our podcast.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who tuned into Trio Chumpret today. See you in the next episode.
Bye.